So hello guys and welcome back to All Rounders. So guys, in the previous video we have to already told you about what are the for loops and how can we iterate in the for loops with the help of the list, strings, tuples and dictionary. And we also told you about the range function. So guys, here is the implementation part of the previous video. So in this program, guys, we are using the range function. First of all, we have taken a variable in which we are input the value from the user by using the input method. Then we apply the for loop. Here is the sequence variable I. Then we have a keyword in. Then we have the range function. So guys, as we have already told you about what is the use of the range function, it goes from 1 to the end of the length which is given by the user. Basically, we have written here is x plus 1. Suppose if a user input a length of 5, then it will go up to 1 to 6, because in the range function when it goes to print each digit one by one, it goes to 1 up to n minus 1. N minus n is the length given by the user, and it goes up to n minus 1. So that's why we have given a plus 1, so that it goes up to the end of the digit how much which the user input. Now let's run this program. First we have to save this. Like guys, I have given here suppose 6. Then when we enter it, it will print all of these one by one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guys, but if we do not give this plus 1, then it will not print 6, because the range function goes up to 1 up to n 1 to n minus 1, and the n is here 6, and the n minus 1 is up to 5. I will show you guys, like if we remove the plus 1 here, then it is 1 to x, then it will give you 1 to 5 and not 6, because it checks up to n minus 1 and not to n. Like again I have given here 6, then here you can see that 1 to 5, only 5 digits it will print, guys, here. So guys, now Jeet will tell you about the iteration in the list, strings, tuples and dictionary. So over to Jeet.
So guys, here's the part for the list, tuples, and string. So guys, the best part in Python is, in Python we do not need to specify the initialization and uh, the increment of the variable. We just need to specify the conditions. And over here, firstly, I'm implementing the list part and taking the list fruits, and I'm storing the values apple, banana, and cherry. So it's basically storing string values of fruits, and then I'm applying the for loop. So the iterating variable is x over here. Then I'm writing the in operator, in mem operator, and then fruits. So guys, in over here, for what it is doing is, in membership operator is being used to fulfill the condition. Like it's traversing this list, and each time in the loop, the value of x is taking the values present in the fruits. Firstly x will, in the first iteration, x will be equal to apple, then it will print that value. Then in the second iteration, x will be banana, and it will print that value. And in the third iteration, it will be cherry. So basically, till list ends, the iterations will continue, and the for loop will work like this in case of lists. Then move on to tuple. Let's move on to tuple. Tuple is also similar. The only difference is the brackets. So I've just changed the brackets, and similar kind of functionalities are also involved in the case of tuples. So lists and tuples are really similar. The major difference is that lists are mutable and tuples are not mutable, but the functioning of for loops in both these type of sequence data types is similar. So that was all about list and tuples. Let's move to string. So over here I've taken a string Bhupendra and I'm iterating over it using for loop. The variable is x, so I'm writing for x, then in membership operator, and then the string. So in the case of strings over here, the value of x will take the values of different characters present in the string. So basically, in the first iteration, it will take the value of d, then h, then u, then p, and it will go on till the string doesn't end. It will go on till the string ends. So that's all about the for loop in lists, tuples, and strings. Let's run the program and see what happens. So you can clearly see that firstly it's printing the values of lists and tuples, and in the case of strings, it is printing the value of different characters in a sequence. That is all about lists, tuples, and strings. Let's move on to the part where we use dictionary. So guys, over here we are using dictionary for iterating. So firstly I'm using get method. So I'm declaring a dictionary D and I'm storing the values as the key value pairs are as follows: 1 Tushar, 2 Bhupendra, 3 Jeet. So these are the key value pairs. And then after that I'm using for loop. The iterating variable is I, then the in membership operator, and then the range. So in the inside the range the conditions are, it is starting from 1 and it will go on till the value of length of that dictionary plus 1, as we have already told you how range function works. And then the print statement d dot get, and in the bracket I'm passing the value of I, as over here the I will change its value according to the index values. And in get function we use the index values meaning values for the keys, and it will be retrieving the value for that particular key. So that was all about get method. Then I'm using the values method to print the different values in that dictionary, and I'm using the variable I, then the in membership operator, then d dot values and print I. So over here the value of I will be take the value of I will start from Tushar and it will go on until Jeet. So it will be printing the values. Then using keys method, I'm printing the different keys. So I'm writing for I in d dot keys. I'm using this method to print the keys. So over here, the value of I will be like 1, 2, and 3. So it's using the traversal. It's traversing the dictionary, and after that there's another method to print the keys. This is a more simpler method. Like I'm writing for I in d is that dictionary, and I'm printing I, so it will print the keys. It's a more simpler method. So let's run it and see how all how how these things are working simultaneously. So let's check. See, in the first part I'm using get method to print the, the values for that particular key. Then I'm using another method, values method, to print the values. So it's printing Tushar, Bhupendra, and Jeet. And in the next method, I'm using keys method to print the keys, different keys. And after that, at the end, I'm using a more simpler method to print the keys. And this was all about dictionary. And I'm also be implementing one more method, that is id.items, that will print both key value pairs side by side. So I'm erasing this code, and I'll write one more line that would be for d.items. So let's erase this part. So as you all know that in items we are printing both key and values, the key value pair. So we'll be using two iterating variables instead of one. So in place of always I'll be let's run this and see what it prints. This is used for printing the key value pair in dictionary. Okay. Uh, there's one mistake. I haven't declared a dictionary. Let's declare it. Sorry, my bad. So now dictionary is ready. Now let's run it. I hope it works this time. See, it's printing the key value pairs, and there are two keys, and for those two keys there are two values, Jeet and Bhupendra. And using d dot items, like using d dot items for iterating, uh, we are implementing this method. So that was all about for loops, the basics of for loops. In the next video, we telling about how to use continue and break statements inside for loops, and along with that, we'll also be telling you the usage of conditional statements like if, else, and else statements inside for loops. So stay tuned, guys, for upcoming videos, and thanks for being a good audience. Thank you, guys.